wildfires of 2011 were some of the worst disasters in Texas history. In that year, over 30,000 wildland fires consumed roughly 4 million acres and destroyed nearly 3,000 homes throughout the state. In a dry climate such as ours, and especially on windy days, wildfires can strike at any moment. But there are steps we can take to protect property and save lives. In this series of videos, we will look at the 4 steps that are essential to combating wildfires. They are: prevention.
Most fires are started by humans, and it's because of carelessness or things that are preventable and they just don't think about.
Preparedness.
We should always be prepared just in case a wildfire does start and approach our property.
Response.
Fighting a wildfire, fighting any fire in any brush is an extreme challenge.
And recovery.
Neighbors were helping neighbors the best that they could. First responders were on the scene.
Four firefighters and 6 civilians lost their lives in the 2011 wildfires. The ones who did survive would face extreme challenges recovering from these tragedies for a long time to come.
Individuals had nothing left. Their homes burned, 47 destroyed. Destroyed. There were barely stones or bricks even left. There was nothing for them. It was a disaster, so it was very hard to look at the disaster and figure out how could you do anything. The immediate needs of the people, they had to evacuate. They had to leave their pets, their farm animals. Many left even without shoes because the high winds were really blazing. The thing that they needed was a shelter, some place to go. Many didn't have their cell phones, so we offered that they could come to the church. We would do what we could to try to help them.
That help would have to continue for a longer time than residents expected.
The understanding was the community was that in a few hours the fire would be over and they would be able to go back. No one realized at that time that it would be 11 days before the fire could be contained or anyone could go see their homes again. 8 days we were on our own just feeding people from the church location. I needed just essential things to help people. I needed tables so they could eat at. We needed food. We needed drink for them. And so we would go into town, and many of these places, they donated goods to us. We did have Austin Disaster Relief Network come out to the area, and they would help in the church with the individuals that were coming in. The Red Cross did appear for 3 days and sent 1 nurse out. I met with FEMA after several days, but we had to call on others in the community who knew people. Neighbors were helping neighbors the best that they could. First responders were on the scene.
For a short time after the fires, we kept some roadways closed and helped provide security to allow only the residents and their agents to come in to help facilitate the recovery efforts.
Other county departments provide support during recovery as well.
We had to assess the damage to roads, signs, guardrails, that sort of thing. So our general rule of thumb right off the bat was to make sure that the roads were passable for the constituents, for emergency personnel, remove the debris on the right-of-way as such, repair the damage that was done.
Due especially to the sheer size of the 2011 wildfires, county road and bridge crews went above and beyond their call of duty.
We're funded only to deal with what happens within the right-of-way. However, directive by the county judge and the Commissioner's Court allowed us to go assist numerous private property individuals that were not able to remove this debris on their own, either no insurance or whatever. So we took numerous crews out here with equipment, dump trucks, that sort of thing, assessed the material to make sure we weren't taking any hazardous material away.
After any kind of a major disaster, there's going to be a lot of debris. And there are various ways that you can deal with that. You're going to have vegetation, construction and demolition debris, household debris, household hazardous waste. That includes a whole variety of things like pesticides, solvents, fuels, electronic equipment, refrigerators and things like that. It's really important to separate those. You cannot just push it all out into the right-of-way for the county to come and take it away. If you do that, you're potentially going to get yourself into a problem with illegal dumping. Basically, it's the landowner's responsibility to take care of the debris on their property after the fire.
Officials, organizations, and individuals can take care of the physical needs of recovery, but it is often the faith-based groups that provide the intangible needs.
One of the biggest needs were emotional and spiritual support. It's devastating, and I found that many people did not know how to react to that. I just instructed individuals just to listen to people and let them talk, and that was very therapeutic. The best advice that I can give in recovery is to volunteer. Give some of your time.
As affected residents move along the slow road to recovery, communities like Spicewood are getting involved with local officials to better prepare for future disasters. But the best thing residents can do regarding wildfire is to prevent it from ever happening. For without the fire, there is no need for the preparedness, the response, or the grueling recovery. Find out more about wildfire safety in the Ready, Set, Go brochure, available at traviscountytx.gov/wildfire.